So, last minute start to this one as me and Farley rush to get set up. Native Esports versus Team Ardent going live in a moment. So, this one was originally called off, only just been announced that it's going to go ahead. The team captain, I believe, of uh, Native, I believe, has decided that they are going to play today. So we've rushed to get this one sorted out for you because we originally posted a schedule last night and we had to make some drastic changes due to about 3 games, including this one, getting supposedly cancelled. So good to see this one's back on. Not giving us much time in terms of preparation. As you'll see, there's no casting announcements and a very simple setup in terms of what you can see on the screen at the moment. Map is Cache that we're moving into. Players just loading in now. We're waiting for the broadcast to start. I believe the game is already underway, just waiting for us to catch up. We'll be streaming this one shortly. One other thing, just before I introduce my friend here, we had a small problem with the chat yesterday. So anyone posting in chat, we had quite a few messages come up in the Twitch comments, but we didn't see any of them. We just suspected it might have been a very quiet day, but it was actually bugged. Both me and Farley not able to see your comments yesterday, so we do apologise if we didn't respond to anything. Moving forward, we'll refresh a few times if that does happen, and we hopefully will see your comments. So, Farley, any ideas on any thoughts on today's game?
Very last minute, like you mentioned. Luckily, managed to actually fit in. I mean, to be fair, we say last minute. We managed to catch up with it pretty well. In terms of the fact that it's actually only really into cash. As in terms of who I think is going to win or lose, no prediction really going in. To be honest, I don't know enough about both the teams. They're both 1-on-1 in their respective divisions. Neither of them are really looking to play for major points here, only to go up into 6, I believe. Yeah, I mean, it's quite an equal matchup by the looks of things, so it looks to be a relatively equal game. Still no real predictions for me. Shame about, obviously, what happened earlier today. Very last minute for us as well. So we'll try our best. I'll try my best. Like I mentioned, I don't really know much about these players. Haven't managed to cast an Ardent game or a native game yet. So it's going to be one of those things where we're going to just have to learn and see and just hope it's a close one.
Yeah, everything's up in the air for these two teams. You know, we can't make any predictions. We don't know if one's going to destroy the other or not, or if it's going to be one-sided in any way. That being said, we've had a couple of mirages, so I mean, the only thing we can really comment on is it's out of the 2 common maps, it's glad we're not seeing yet another mirage. Also, a new feature to the stream. The names now are at the sides of the screen for those that picked up on that yesterday. That is sorted out, don't worry about that one. So I managed to get that bit cleaned up yesterday. But in terms of sort of pre-match setup and sort of what you're generally expecting, that might not be up to scratch for this one because we simply just haven't had the time to prepare. That being said, looks like we are going into knife round. Let's just get a bit of... There we go. We're going to see probably who's going to want to start on CT.
Yeah, it's probably just looking like an easy T side here for native. Probably going to end up picking CT, I imagine. Maybe. Yep. I think they switched in there, or am I just being... I think
nothing in chat yet.
Was being done.
Now you say stay.
Here we go.
Shout out in the chat for Team Ardent for this one. Any predictions in chat for anyone who knows these two teams? Who you're rooting for? Let us know, because we're not sure ourselves, not seen these two teams before. Who do you think's going to take it?
Yeah, alright, well as we're loading into pistol here, I'm gonna probably stay on the side of native just to see how they do. Nothing too special coming. I got some utility from 2 of the players on Ardent, looking like it's going to probably be an A take here, which is It's going to be interesting. We've got no utility apart from one of the CTs with a nade, but only one kit as well.
Yeah, a little bit of utility coming out from Jay, throwing smoke just to cover them onto the A side. Takes out the player, holding quad. I can't tell if I'm having frame issues or if it's... No, we seem to be okay now.
I'm liking the play from the T side so far, actually seeming to back off, just play really passively, let the CTs come to them. CTs are actually stacking up, although that utility actually affecting it quite well.
It's all for Sotsy to do now. Just needs to sit back, just keep him off the bomb. He is holding it.
And there we go.
Fonkus able to just carry this one out. Looks like we've got quite a few Ardent fans in the chat.
Audio's a tad low, by the way.
Specifically game audio or mic audio?
It's worth noting as well, just for those who can hear me, that you know, we already have a 4K that round from pistols. I mean, at the moment, the story for most of the games that we've been casting is these CT-sided pistols have been rather very one-sided, or quite close, but with a player, you know, dropping a 3K, 4K, touch there. We got actually a really fast play from the T side here, which is overwhelmed that 4K player.
Yeah, FKaz now is going to get some players pushing up on him, able to take down his FAMAS. So that is now possible for Jay to pick up, as he's not quite able to take down that player. And native now, Fonkus not quite realising that all the T players have gone down. Some very quick A takes and some very quick A retakes coming out here. So
Apparently his voice, by the way.
it's voice, is it?
Voices. Yeah.
It's a bit of a strange one. It's exactly the same as it was yesterday in terms of the audio levels. If anyone in chat, if you're able to figure out whose voice specifically, I can sort that one out. I'm able to boost mine or yours.
Could just be the game overpowering our voices, but I mean... Oh. Nice little one-tap coming in there. So it's worth noting that the CTs no longer have any mid presence, and that appears to be where the Ts are going to be pushing now. I believe we're getting some info from some of the CTs that they are going mid, but they've completely lost control here. The only player really in position to do much to stop this is going to be Donut. Or Do Not. It depends on how you want to say it. Down for it there, coming in. The vents, getting that quick
so we
strike.
could see a B take. Fonkus here is going to have to get on the defensive. Donut now in a 1v4 situation. And 4A1S in hand. Probably going to look to save this now. And not going to be able to, as we've got a player line in Z.
Yeah, I mean, CT's just completely losing mid control there. No one's able to hold it. Kind of just giving them that easy vent control. Even if you're sticking someone highway there, that's usually effective. But good mid play by Team Ardent. Can't really expect much more.
Yeah, picking up their first round of the game. Looks like we are going to see sort of the players split in a similar way as they did previously. Bomb just outside of A main now, as the player looks to go squeaky. Early pick there from Native, taking out Tai Stelai, I'll believe that's pronounced.
Molotov did come in, but it did miss. That might throw the T's off to this position, possibly, unless they are aware that it did mess up. It seems Native has realised their issue with mid control, but it doesn't seem to really matter with Downthrow getting those mid.
Father getting caught out in what I believe is the same position he was previously. J guys though, able to pick up 2 as he flanks around from the vent.
That nade just chipping away, he's now half HP. Oh.
I've been able to take down one. Does he know where the other player is? Pushing him up on site as we speak. not quite able to finish that one up for his team. Native are going to go 3-1.
Same thing as we saw really last round there. I mean, down throw just pretty much getting into mid, taking out any one of the players he sees, and then they managed to get into vent, get that control in those gunfights. Unfortunately, that round, they actually got completely flanked by J guys, and he just took them out. Lost a lot of control because of that there. So
J guys currently with a KD of 8-2. Still alive. Let's pick up a few now. J guys though in the same position as we saw him previously, not gonna choose to go through vent this time. Possibly thinking the T's are a bit savvy to that now.
it does appear that we have another CT player actually choosing to go to this position, but the T's are very aware of it.
Yeah, waiting for that play to come out. Native now with some decision making to do. They've an open M4.
They have an AK now.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, yeah, I mean, saving is a smart choice. So they have complete control of that site. It's a bit interesting that they chose to, you know, to push vent, even though J guys, I think, had the info that they were waiting there. So maybe a bit of miscommunication, maybe just wanting to try and take those gunfights to get some entries into the side. But yeah, I mean, Ardent playing it well there on that T side. Can't really expect so much more.
Starting off a very even game. Gonna see a bit of a strange buy coming out from Native. A couple of CZs, Deagle, and a couple of rifles. Be interesting to see where they put these rifles. Looks like Donut's gonna go A1, and J Guy's gonna play the mid approach. J Guy's taking a few shots there through the wall.
Yeah, the question is, what is he going to do here for this mid play? This is really important for their team. Down throws has been a complete nuisance in mid for these CTs, so if we can pick them off early, that might give them the slight advantage they need.
Yeah, I think Ardent really are going to have to make these weapons that they've got count. Flash just coming out into the mid. J Guy's spotting the boost play, but not able to take him out despite having that, you know, early peak advantage. Down throw, headshotting the guy in white box.
Yeah, it's just like I said a minute ago, down throw just completely throwing this mid control off, not really doing them any good.
Father though, able to take out one. Fonkus with another CZ kill.
Sotsy unfortunately missing the AWP shot there, but I mean, they now have the info on where he is. They can just easily rotate, which they look to be doing here. An open AK, but they are very weak.
It looks like they're going to get Tasteleye in a position where he's able to catch the rotation out once Donut realizes it's going to be A. Tasteleye though, nice shot there, able to take him out. You know, shots like that means he's able to not take any damage himself. You know, in a 1v1 duel, would he have won? Possibly not.
I don't think it would have at all. I mean, it was way too weak. I mean, even you know, a pistol Glock bullet would have killed him there, and then it's just like how it would have been. Luckily, he held the angle there, so good on him.
And it looks like we're going to see CTs pushing into A main. Sotsy could have got caught out there, but it looks like they're going to now move back into CT. This is definitely a strange play from Native. I think we'll stick with them while they do this, see where they're going to decide to go.
This is like a 200 IQ play here. They 100% knew that they heard the steps, and now they're just trying to play around it.
J2 down throw taking one of the CT players out.
Yeah, I mean, that round was... I've got to give it to Native, to be honest. That was a super good play by them. I really couldn't complain about that. Although they may have lost it, the idea there was really well and, you know, executed. I mean, they knew the T's heard the steps, so they quickly rotated back around to B because they knew that they would. It was really, like, smart and obviously in play, but unfortunately just not able to really do much with it. That UMP did come in handy, not really doing as much as they might have needed now. Tactical pause, I believe, coming out from Team Ardent. Or possibly native. I didn't quite catch. I think it was Ardent that's paused. So, as you mentioned, quite an early game so far. Yet another buy round now. So all teams with their rifles and utilities. So we'll just have to see who's going to come out on top on this one. Quite an important round.
Sots here could go for the early pick in mid. Not quite able to make that shot.
J guys actually coming into a gunfight here and missing quite a bit and full flashed. Gonna get pulled out. Still manages to trade it.
Yeah, able to get that one kill before getting taken out is quite important for him to get that one. You know, he's going to struggle to get out there without, you know, getting killed by the T players lying in wait for him. Oh, father shot a little bit too early. And it's
There's about
left.
to be possibly a pick in mid here. There it is.
Yeah, and this has left Native in a really difficult position now. Donut once again, you know, having to make the decision to save his weapon.
I doubt the teams are going to let him do this though. I mean, they know he's going to be saving here, and I think Tay here is probably going to try picking them up. I mean, at the end of the day, they probably should hunt. Getting rid of that weapon would be really good for the next round. Quite a few of the CT players might be on extremely low money, which I believe they will.
Looks like they are going to swarm now onto CT. Donut needs to be ready for this if he's going to have any chance to take this gun out. Not going to be able to, I'm afraid. Ardent now 5 rounds, 2 rounds ahead. Sides are definitely switching a little bit now. As Native looks like they are going to go for a pistol buy. Some CZs, a Deagle and a couple of P250s. And it looks like they are going to make a play towards middle, or at least 3 of them anyway. A split which could work out for them quite well, considering that it looks like Team Ardent are going to move towards B. 1 CZ kill already, coming out from J guys. And Father able to pick up one by just lying in wait in checkers. And this is actually not going all to plan really for Ardent.
I mean, we say that, but as soon as we do say that, they start taking back the round. So
Yeah, Caster's Curse definitely. I think Donut got a little bit too aggressive, but J guys very unlucky not to get that one.
I mean, it has to be said, J guys right now pulling out all the really clutch plays that he needs to be with that AK-47 in that round. I mean, he's 12 and 6 for his team. He's the only one that's actually positive on his team right now. And on the side of T's, they're just using those AKs to their advantage. So.
Looks like we are going to see Fast B possibly once again. All their players at the moment committing to that site, not taking a player into mid as we saw last round.
Ivan's in the closest position. Looks like he's going to be breaking into B. Molotov actually killing Father there. Marcus goes down. Yeah, I mean, it's...
J guys, you need to move there, buddy.
Unfortunate.
I think there might have been an issue there as to...
Oh, we've got a knife coming in. There it is. Oh, what a knife. I caught that one. Whew.
So was it a bully hunter's knife? Is it being hunted?
Yeah, it was. I mean, at the moment, it's looking pretty one-sided for Ardent now. They seem to be finding their place in this map. They're using pretty much similar strats that they have been in the past few rounds, and they're just not letting the CTs take advantage whatsoever of them, and it's working out really well for them right now. I believe another tactical pause coming in as well. So we got to see what the CTs can do now to start trying to bring this back. None of the players on the CT side, apart from J guys, is really doing anything of note. We've got some players that are 2 and 9, 3 and 9, and maybe statistics don't mean everything, but it could mean obviously, that we're not winning those one-on-ones, we're not playing the right positions. Ardent doing a really good job of stopping most of the players on the CT so far.
Yeah, it's it'd be interesting to know as to if there was a technical issue, stopping
Yeah.
You know, stopping J guys there from, you know, from getting out of heaven. He just seemed to have stood there. I mean, but you know, I guess we won't know without, you know, finding out for real, I guess.
Hmm.
Looks like we're not going to see any mid presence this time from Native, as they are on once again on pistols. Ardent now gravitating towards A little bit different to what they've done previously. That 3 stack on B could prove to be their maker. Down throw just about able to take the player who's
It's worth noting that Tay is all the way at the back of T-spawn waiting for this lurker, but obviously there is no one here. So right now he's completely removed from the equation of the bomb site. So it's pretty much a 3v3 right now. It looks like he's going to be making his way towards mid, but how long will he have?
Ivan can get rushed here. It certainly does. But it's all left up to J guys now. Lead in hand. Possibly could have got the flick. Not quite able to though. And Ardent now starting to take a confident lead in this game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the CT seem to be really finding some issues with getting the hold in the map and not holding many positions here, and it just seems to be getting countered quite heavily here by the T side. So we have to see. Obviously, now it's looking like it's going to be an interesting round of an A push, but let's see how the CTs actually handle it. Good play by Donut. Donut. He's now with site control, but Downfrow's going to burn a life.
Downthrow dying with the bomb in hand. And this has changed completely now. Native have the front foot, could possibly claw around back. All up to J. Knows there's an AWP player there oh, not an AWP player, sorry. A player there trying to peek him. The barrel looked a little bit AWPish.
AWPish.
Suspectively AWP.
I mean, I was literally just about to mention how the T's seem to be overwhelming, you know, Native with a lot of aggression here. It like pretty early on in the rounds, and it just seems to bite them in the back there a little bit, and it's not really doing them very good. To be just literally being picked off one by one near blue door, and it's, you know, CT's playing it really well. They're holding. They're now finding their foot in here. Hopefully, they can keep translating that into more rounds, heading into the T side.
Really good spot here. Possibly pick up a few. Gets taken down by an AWP player. Checkers.
Father in a really good position here with a FAMAS. He has been hurt, I believe. Or not, okay.
Father was able to get one. Taken down once again. Sotsi holding really good positions here to take players out with the AWP. Ridiculous peak from him there. Should not have won that one. And story of the game, Native, I'm afraid, not quite winning the retake.
Yeah, I think the other story of the game is just this mid control. It just feels like, you know, Native aren't getting that mid control. Ardent is completely abusing the fact that they aren't, and they're just pushing straight into sites, getting into vent room, overwhelming the CTs on this B site, and it's just not doing Native any favors by not having that mid control.
Yeah, definitely agree. So we're going to see some more players boost up, and like you just said, it looks like Team Ardent are going to attempt to exploit that mid again. Just Sotsy taking the role of just checking it out, just making sure, you know, is anyone pushing up, is anyone playing these spots, peeking these angles. You know, this is going to be the time for Ardent to decide, you know, yeah, let's actually push forward here. You can see a couple of players gravitating towards mid. And it looks like we've got a lurking player in Jay, who's probably going to move back now towards his team. You know, has that ability if he wants to go mid. You know, he knows that one of his players have cleared that out for him. Tastily able to get one on A site. His team are going to move out with him now. shot from Saucy.
I mean, the question here for me is, did Ardent realize that they were on pistols? Because the way they were playing was very passive. It made me feel like, I mean, we see nothing but aggression from them when it's against rifles, and then they seem to be giving Native a lot of respect against these pistols. Understandably why, but you can see it just from the fact that they've wiped out a lot of the players. But it's
Fonkus with one bullet.
no wonder. One bullet in a dream with that, CZ.
Looks like we're going to see a pistol and armor save.
I mean, right now it's still kind of the same story that we've been talking about, and no one yet to break positive on the CT side, apart from J guys, obviously. And on that T side, they're just playing really aggressive, overwhelming the CTs, and the money just really is dire for the CT squad right now. Again, no mid control.
Yeah, still no one taking mid, even if you don't have the range to do it. Maybe just a passive hold, just to make sure that you're not going to have players, listen for if they're going to come vents or if they're going to, push through Z. That could really make the difference. Not getting the kills, but actually just getting the info. As we see a player now, Ivan, moving through into Squeaky. He's going to sit there and probably wait if his team go B. Oh, I tell a lie. He has the confidence there to open up Squeaky and take a pick. And just like you said a little earlier, Farley, Ardent with full mid control. They think they know at this point that they can, take that, with relative ease.
Yeah, I think they're doing some quite good, counter psychology here. Just managing to break vents, and it's throwing the CTs off. I don't know if they know that there is a player here.
Yeah, J guys could get a frag here if he plays this properly. So J guys, you can take the AK, possibly play the 1v3. We are seeing last round now, so
yeah. The story of the game so far has genuinely just been no mid control for the CTs. They're getting overwhelmed by the aggression of Ardent. It's right now it's not really necessarily a back and forth. It's just Ardent, poking in when they need to, taking that presence, and just overwhelming.
So switching things over, we'll certainly see a different way now for the CTs to hold. Ardent already, a couple of players choosing to go mid, but it looks like we are going to see the entirety of Native go for an A-side push. Father trying to jump shot with the block. That being said, we do see a plant and a few kills now coming out from Native. Upper hand is theirs. Down throw with it all to do now.
Yeah, one player is weak though, so you can still do this 100%. He just needs to play faster than he is right now.
A couple of swift shots. And it could all be his. Looks like he's going to get caught up in the crossfire. Native taking the advantage going into T-side.
Yeah, I'm talking about Native taking some things. I think they took some notes there on how Ardent played against them on that first pistol round, and they seem to actually be using the aggression on their side anyway, so, I mean, good play by them. Not much else to say.
Looks like Ardent are going to put 3 bodies onto the A side. Native just doing a little bit of probing at the moment. Got a player just in all areas of the map, just sort of waiting for one of the Ardent players to possibly make a mistake and move, and we quite possibly could see that here. Tasty moving a little bit out, almost taking down FKs.
Looks like we are going to get the aggression towards A from Native here. Jay in a really good position to possibly stop this. One player is 6 HP.
Despite being 6 HP, FKs managed to get that frag of the player on highway. We are going to see a scout playing on van though. Could potentially get a couple. Sotsy nearly getting caught out there. Quick shot to Father. Another quick shot to FCO. Low HP, so was able to pick that one up. Is he going to see that he's getting low? No. Good couple of kills from Sotsy, though.
Yeah, good picks for the CT. Obviously damaging some of the economy for the Ts there. But, I mean, again, just kind of getting overwhelmed there. Not much you really expect, because obviously they are using SMGs. Managing to stay alive only on 6 HP is quite a task, but he managed to achieve it. So
it looks like we're going to see Ardent pushing the Ts and getting taken out one by one now. Donut both going to clear the angle. FK's the one to pick it up in the end. Quick round there. Team Ardent choosing to save for the next round, and we're going to see a 4-buy now coming out from both teams. Possibly some players on Team Ardent not quite able to get all the utility that they want in this situation, but big round for both teams. I think this is gonna set the tone. You know, I think Native definitely need to win this one in terms of, you know, going forward.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a difference completely here. I mean, now that the CTs can actually buy these rifles, they're actually taking that mid control and only leaving one on B, but they're not too afraid of that presence, because obviously you can just get people rotating and retaking, which is easy enough. So showing a completely different playstyle here might be throwing off Native into pushing this mid. Quite a slow round. Looks like we're just kind of poking and probing into A a little bit here, trying to get some info on who's playing mid. Speaking of which, we have two players kind of looking like they want to push it, but neither of them wanting to do so just yet. Interesting fact here, there's only one player on A, which means that, or I think actually there's two of them, but I think one's getting boosted. But this might prove to be a problem. Yeah, he was all running a note, yep.
Yeah, that boost not quite working. That being said though, Tay staying down throw, sort of holding really strong there. You know, with those duels are really sort of going to win, you know, potentially win them the round here.
And with a FAMAS.
You know, I don't like to say, but I think you know, in some scenarios, FK's aim, you know, is slowing down in some situations.
I mean, possibly, yeah. No, I've got a comment, obviously, on the fact that even though only I think it was Tay with the FAMAS there, you know, at the end of the day, he just held down that spray, was picking off the players one by one, really doing a good job of getting the Ts, just holding them off for those few seconds to get his team to be able to rotate. Really well played by them. That was a round that Native can't be affording to lose, especially this late into the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's been a lot of kills for Native, which, you know, they definitely should have been getting. It looks like we're not going to see the entirety of Native going for a fast B take. Ivan putting that molly down just in time might allow his team just enough time to give him some support here, as he's currently alone. As we see Saucy moving into the heaven position, this is going to force Native to start rotating to A. Hopefully Danfro is able to hear that, and it looks like we are going to see the Ardent players reading this perfectly. Tasty and Sotsy both rotating to A.
There's a bit of miscommunication there. Molly ended up on a smoke, kind of allowing the Ts to get some control, but they are actually slowing down their play. But I think the CTs are fully aware of what's going on here.
Yeah, it's to the point where I'm actually not sure what Native are going to choose to do. It looks like they are just going to choose to put one player through mid. Father able to find the pick on the player in vents. It looks like we are going to have to see Native at this point, you know, choose to go for an A site take. Very dangerous move potentially, considering the, you know, the type of players that they have on site for Ardent. But somehow still catching them completely off guard. Ivan now in a 1v4 situation. Able to take a little bit of damage from a couple of the Native players.
Yeah, Ivan really here should be just saving. They're not going to have a lot of money going into next round. Obviously going to be broken here a little bit just because they won that last one. Yeah, I mean, Native played it really well, got that mid pick, and then just executed on A. Those Molotovs for quad regions for them. Ivan with a nice pick, but they now know where he is, and it looks like they're just gonna hunt him down.
Oh, Ivan, I think you're in trouble there, friend. Oh,
Actually not.
oh, if the round could have gone on just a little bit longer, I'd suspect we could have seen at least 2 or 3 there from Ivan.
Yeah, I mean, did a good job to stay alive and get that AK. He's now gonna have to be the hero player for these CTs. So.
Definitely.
Bad smoke from Ivan now, unfortunately missing.
I'd suggest it's probably not going to have too much of an effect though, considering it looks like most of Native's players are going to gravitate towards middle now. Pushing through then, not able to take Ivan off guard enough, enough to survive altogether. And we're going to see Ardent now retaking a lot of players now, all coming from the same angle. Be interesting to see if they attempt to try and push one into vents. We've got Father waiting for that exact push. Father was able to find that one, lurking in that, in the position, just waiting for the team.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty basic round so far. Nothing really special. I mean, CTs were on pistols. Tees is playing it really well. Again, worth noting, I mean, obviously they were on pistols, but no mid control from the CTs, and the Tees managed to actually exploit that and get straight in there. Father holding it really well, and then managing to pick up one of the players that were lurking. So it's so far that mid control for the CTs has been alright on those rifle rounds, but on the pistols are opting not to really hold it, which is actually, I think, biting them in the backside just quite a little bit. So let's see how they play this with USPs. It looks like it's just going to be a full rush for quick info.
So we've got a lot of Team Ardent players pushing through A main. A couple of players set up just to perfectly catch them off there. There's Ivan lurking around from B site, going to attempt to come behind. Possibly get a couple of frags. Deagle in hand. It's a case of if Native, suspect that he's possibly come around this quick. And Fonkers just realising that fact.
I mean, to think this round was, or this entire game, I should say, was, I mean, within, 5 or 6 round difference, at the end of the day. The fact that Native have managed to come back this much is really well played by them. Ardent need to really start holding a little bit better now with these rifles and start getting their foot into these rounds, because so far the economy for these CTs have really just been not doing them any favours, so...
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting one, because it does feel like, Ardent should be having the stronger CT hold here. They're setting up into better positions. But so far, that's looking like that's not going to be the case.
I think we're going to need to start seeing some risks being taken by Ardent here a little bit, just to try and get these rounds established, because you can't let Native keep coming back like this. One more round and it could honestly be, a 15-12. It could be a 15-13. It depends on how Ardent's really going to play this. They need to do something. This is the round to do it.
Well, J House spotted FCAS in main, so it's going to be a case of, you can see already giving up a little bit of mid control, but they are a little bit hesitant to do so. I think, for Native, it's been a case of just waiting, see if they can get the players to rotate off and down. Flushing onto the A site. Ardent not quite ready for that one. Wasn't quite sure if it, you could see that the one player was in main. And I think quite possibly this is going to be too much of a task for the Ardent players.
In saying that though, it's relatively equal. One of these players
needs to get this one.
It's quite unfortunate. Just want to thank you for the subscription in the chat, by the way. We appreciate that here at RDYUP. Yeah, the aggression there from the T's is really well. I mean, at the end of the day, it's what I've been saying since even Ardent were on the T side. It's the aggression versus CTs, and it just seems like no matter what team is on the CT side, not handling the aggression like they should be. It's going to be an interesting one, to be honest. Not really looking like they have much mid presence again. Maybe the T's are going to exploit that a little bit.
Yeah, this is going to be the round, hopefully, where we see Native, pulling that one up to 12-12, back into an even game. It's game on from there, really. As we always say from a casting perspective, the closer the game, it's going to be more interesting. Ivano not fully predicting that player in terms of his crosshair positioning, to be right there, a little bit too close.
I mean, the best situation here is the CTs maybe save one AK-47.
Well, it's a Father did a great job of keeping all 4 CTs on A. We're going to see Native have a gift of a free B site. It does mean though that this, Team Ardent do have one AK-47 to play with here. Probably are going to choose to take that through into next round, or alternatively attempt to retake with the pistols going first. Pause called from Team Ardent. FK's nearly and just nearly taking out Tastily. Also spots Donut just trying to get an exit. I think it would be wise for the Native players to possibly, head towards T here, but it looks like they are wanting the fight. The rest of his team realising, it's probably worth just saving the weapons, accepting that, they've got the round.
Yeah, and the CT's actually doing a great job down throw there with a really nice pick, managing to use the explosion from the bomb to capture the secondary AK now. So that they have without a doubt some rifles here. This is where the game is going to start getting a lot closer. The CTs really need to start getting their presence down around the map and slowing down that aggression from the T's. Otherwise, this is just going to end up being exactly like I said, a 16-13, a 16-12. It's really going to be now dependent on what Ardent is talking about here. Maybe they're discussing, oh, should we get a double AWP? I think that's maybe why we're not seeing, the Sotsy buy anything right now. Maybe they're discussing where to place these players. They really need to start making these decisions now, which will really affect them going forward. They can't allow Native any more rounds. They've got the economy on the T side to pretty much buy every round now, up until maybe, the 14th or 15th, depending on how close this goes. So it's going to be difficult for Ardent here, but I think they need to really start making something happen.
Yeah, I think, if this is going to be any type of pause from Team Ardent, it's going to be, tactical. They've given Native the chance to get back into this game, and they are very much back into it, and we're talking at a point now where it's looking that, even though the scores are even, Native are definitely on the front foot here. Big round, and I think this could possibly decide the winner.
And it's like I said, I mean, that pause felt like they were maybe calling about the economy there. It looks like they're choosing to opt for double AWPs right now. It could be beneficial. They have the info for B, but it doesn't look like they're rotating in time.
Something does definitely need to be changed. Sosti needs to make a big play here for his team. FK's, though, finding him, taking him out, as we see a lot of Team Ardent players going for vents.
Yeah, just getting completely overwhelmed there. CT's doing a good job of coming from behind, but it didn't really look like they were winning those one-on-ones, unfortunately, so... Looks like Native are going to be able to take this round again.
Yeah, Ardent can't be allowing this to happen, Maybe it's worth going back to just sort of default positioning on, on here. We're seeing a lot of 3 on this site, 3 on that site, 2 in middle. It's possibly worth maybe just, having 2 on each of your sites, playing for your information, and, potentially just going into a bit more just sort of a standard positioning, really, against a team like this who stick so much together. I think your rounds are won and lost by just finding out where they're going to go. Danfo, could have got a few there.
The CT's actually just lost a lot of their rifles at the end of that round there. It's going to do some damage. I mean, Sotsy's probably going to have to go without anything amazing here. In fact, actually, it's looking like a double AWP because obviously they already had the AWP from last round, luckily saving that one important rifle. that double up serve didn't really seem to do them a lot of good. The information they got for B really not doing them anything, and I think now it's a question of how long is it going to take Native to break the CTs, not how long is it going to take for the CTs to come back from this. Because I don't see them doing it. I think the momentum is too in favor of the T's now. The CT's just not countering anything the T's are doing at all. Obviously can't count anyone out, but it's really not looking good for Ardent right now.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the comeback that Natives made, you know, it might, you know, when you look at the scoreline, you might not think it, but if, you know, for Ardent, it's a lot of, you know, a lot of rounds lost in a very recent time, and it's, you know, it's going to have effect both, you know, in terms of mentally and statistically. My father not quite sure where the player was there.
So we actually just had a team kill come in from J guys. Unfortunately, might have actually just affected the round here really negatively for the T's.
Yeah, Afkaz there for a split second, opening himself up to more than one angle. Definitely a dangerous thing to do. Luckily, both players choosing to stick together. I think Afkaz really here. 20 seconds on the board. Had to find that pick and wasn't able to.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say it though, just to quickly point it out, I think Ivan played it really risky there in that last one. I know it was a 2v1 and they knew where he was, but you can't be peeking Orcs like that. I mean, you're giving him a bit too much breathing room. If he picks up that Orb, that round became a completely open book and it could have been changed. Ardent now need to start making these plays a little bit more frequently and relying on Native, I think, to get those team kills, because that seems to be the only thing that stopped them that round.
So it's Native 13, Ardent 13 as we go into round 27 of this group stage game. Fonkers gonna hope to pick up the player in checkers, but not able to. Ardent all of a sudden seems like they're back on top in this game, regaining control of the fixture. J guys now 1v4. Finds himself trapped on B side. Don't know if they realise where he is or not. Can just about see the head. But Sotsi very much on point in this game.
I mean, it's got to be said, Sotsi with a good shot, but let's be honest there, that round completely given to them by Dan Fro. He gets an amazing 3K, his second one of the game. You know, gets the Molotov kill, he's picking them off with the rifle. It's the only thing that really... at the moment, I've just noticed, you know, they just completely stopped the aggression from the T's there, and look how much it helped them. Now we're going to start seeing some economy issues, I believe, from the T side going forward, possibly, if they keep losing these important rounds. Some of these players might be a little bit low for things like utility and stuff. So we did get a pause come through, I believe, from the Native side. They're now down a round. It's about now Ardent just carrying it forward and how Native are going to respond to the stop of aggression from the CTs. It was really well played by J-Fro there. Oh, J-Fro? Down-Fro.
A lot of J's in this game.
Yeah. There's I mean, yeah.
we got J and J guys.
Yeah. That's
two.
2 out of the 8, you know, it's
a multiple.
2 out of the 8, 2 out of the 10 even. My math isn't good today. Never has been. But again, it's you know, the mid control is coming in really well from the CTs. Still only opting to have one player on B site who's just playing it safe, and that's exactly what they need to be doing here.
We do see Bomb currently in A main, so we could potentially see a possible push onto A main site, onto A site even at some point. But I think it's going to be a case of Native here possibly trying to play for a pick.
Yeah, 100%. I think the thing that they're doing really well as well at the moment, switching up the pace, that is the thing that is putting Native like on the board with these rounds. They're completely throwing Ardent off on whether or not they're going to be aggressive or not. It's definitely going to be an A take. I'm interested to see how Ardent are going to capitalize on this with almost no presence on A apart from 2. Okay. K with an amazing headshot there, never mind.
And he might get more.
Yeah, this position is really strong. We did get swung up a little bit here. Jay with a nice pick.
Was called out in terms of his position though. Father gonna push onto A site quite fast, looking for the pick. Looks like we are gonna see Bomb down from Native on A. Donut choosing to push back into main. Bomb though not planted for him, interestingly enough. And with the bomb not planted for Donut, I think we are going to see Ardent definitely take the round now. And that secures at least some points for Team Ardent going forward.
100%. Yeah, I mean, good round by the CTs. Can't not not much to say really. I mean, the bomb wasn't planted for the teammate in main, which is a bit questionable. But maybe it was a panic plant. You can never really tell what was going through the players' heads at the time. Native, I think, need to recompose and start picking up this next round is the most important one right here. So
Definitely all to do for Native now, as once again we can see bomb down. It looks like Native are going to play similar to previous, just looking for that initial pick or somewhere, where they get that confidence to sort of push onto a site. We only see one player from Ardent onto B, so if we could, if we see them swing round to B site, we could see, potentially a successful Native round. Still starting off slow though for Native.
it is worth commenting that Native have a very low amount of utility. Only 3 players on their team actually with smokes. So
Father probably wanted to get that one, but his teammate Efka's at the other side able to pick that one up.
yeah, saving them quite a bit there actually. If that player got away, that could have been disastrous for him.
Initial advantage here goes to Native. They do get the pick, but choose not to act on it. Still playing very passive. I think that Molotov is going to chip away at some health here. To see FK's trying to push onto A, but J though refusing to give this one up. And Donut now he's actually going to plant for A main, as we do have a player in there, but could certainly get taken down by Ivan. Not aware. Oh, just as I say that, he does check the angle. And everything now for Donut. Well, we saw initial advantage there for Native, but it looks like Ardent are going to take all the points today.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, at the end of the day, I think Ardent with the more rounds, had the advantage completely almost throughout the entire game there. Native really not with much breathing room early on, obviously being down about 5 or 6 rounds. Native did a really good job to come back, but I think unfortunately the biggest issue there for them right at the end there was Ardent completely stopping the aggression. I think Native kind of doubting themselves a little bit on what they needed to do due to, obviously Dan Throw going huge in that 3K round, having to that game. It's I think if it wasn't for Native having such a slow start against the T side of Ardent, I think we might have seen the game go even a little bit further. Native still doing a really great job. Obviously, with the uphill climb, I think they just got exhausted towards the top and decided to turn back around and head back down the hill. So it's unfortunate to see, but at the end of the day, Ardent played it perfectly right towards the end there and getting the win that well, at least I thought they were going to pick up quite confidently, especially after that T side by them.
Yeah, let's not count out the very impressive comeback from Native. It almost got to the point where we were starting to count them out of the game, and just as we did, a very impressive comeback to the point where we started to feel like that we're going to take control. And I think Team Ardent calling strategical pauses, clearly making some decisions, and getting the heads together again and able to push through and take the win here. I think both teams have to be happy with their performances that game. I think
Yeah.
there was mistakes as every game will, and I think both teams will want to watch this one back specifically, just to have a little look and see where they could have improved. But both teams, shouldn't be disappointed with that game. Going forward, I think there'll be strong contenders in the group. They're not gonna. I'd suggest we're not gonna see either of those two teams, at the bottom of the group by the end of it. Um, only thing I will say is in future, please, please, please give us more than 5 minutes notice, guys. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, also just to add on to everything about the game, I think Ardent obviously with a sigh of relief at the end. I think for them that would have been a really big morale killer if they had actually managed to lose the game that they had such an advantage in. Um, I noticed a few times that it seemed like a few players are lagging a little bit. I'm seeing in chat, obviously, Jay talking about his his internet almost screwing him over in that game. But I mean, honestly, there's not much you can really complain about if you're either team. I think Native obviously doing a really really good job of coming back and taking away those rounds that Ardent were winning previously.
Mm.
It's just, I think, in the future it's more about Native being able to pick up that mid control on CT side, and Ardent managing to try and confidently stop more aggression in the future. I mean, those are my two big takeaways from those games. So impressive stuff by both of them, and like you said, I really don't see either of these teams being low down in their brackets, especially after that game against each other.
Yeah. So as said there, we do see a Ardent win. Going forward into today, as some of you may have not noticed, our schedule was pulled either last night or this morning. I can't remember when I pulled it. So if you've originally had a casted game today, or expecting us to be casting a game today, you may realise that those schedules aren't available. It's because we've seen three teams pull out, unfortunately. We expect to cast a game today, but we are waiting for confirmation of the games before going live or announcing anything. So we expect to go live today, but I simply can't promise anything. If you want to keep updated, you do have our Twitch links in the top left of your screen right now, both myself and Farley. Also, if you want to follow things from RDYUP, it's RDYUP.gg for the website. Alternatively, check the tournament page out on Tournament. From there, you'll be able to see all of the games that are going live and all of the results. If anyone is interested in that, I'll be posting some, or attempt to post some links to the tournament page and statistics pages after this. Alternatively, if there's an admin watching, they will also post out some information so you can follow the RDYUP team. Other than that, we hope to see you a little late today if we do cast another game. Thank you very much for tuning in.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air.